The War of Realms has come to America, and with it, the Avengers are stretched further than ever before. What new superhero team will step up to pick up the slack? Well, let's hop into the pages of Avengers issue number 18 and find out. Alrighty then, so as we join the comic, we are in Washington, in the classroom of American history teacher Mark Milton, who many people will probably better know for his superhero alias Hyperion. Milton is trying to teach a class of very uninterested children, their Thomas Jefferson, when the code red comes down that the War of Realms has finally reached their sleepy little community. But Hyperion is not alone. He's joined by the other members of his team: Nighthawk, who we find out has actually taken a government job; Power Princess, who's working as an MMA instructor; Blur, who seems to be taking the place of the Wizard, as well as Dr. Spectrum. And together they are the Squadron Supreme of America. The Squadron Supreme, of course, being a Marvel team that's been around since the 70s, and why, yes, they are a parody of the Justice League. A parody that even goes a few steps further now that a bunch of their costumes have been redesigned to look even more like their counterparts from the other company, and the fact that they are the greatest heroes in the Washington, D.C. area. Now, as you may or may not recall, the new team's handler is none other than government agent Coulson, who is seemingly back from the dead and with a major bone to pick with the Avengers. Coulson figures there's no better testing ground for his new team of super individuals than having them show up the Avengers by saving the nation's capital from ice giants. And indeed, we're shown that the squadron is incredibly powerful, more than capable of keeping up with Malekith's forces, but something about them just seems wrong, off, uncanny valley. For one, they love shouting patriotic slogans, and for another, their personality seems so finely tuned it's like they were created in some sort of writer's room by committee. And that's because, well, they basically were. It seems that the government, formerly under Thunderbolt Ross, but now under Coulson, has actively been conditioning the members of the Squadron Supreme to follow direct orders, work within certain parameters, and basically be puppets of the powers that be. Why, they can even fine-tune stuff about their personality, like making Nighthawk paranoid and jealous, well, kinda like Batman is. And while the team has definitely been put together to fight crime, they're really only interested in protecting American interests, so much to the point that when they beat the ice giants back, they just throw them over Lake Erie until they're Canada's problem. Oh no, hey, how's my nation gonna deal with them? I guess we'll try and feed them some Crown Royal until Alpha Flight can ask them to leave nicely, eh? Now you might be wondering what on earth could possibly possess Coulson to go this far, considering that he was a good guy, and you might also be wondering that if the Squadron aren't who they seem to be, is Coulson even who he seems to be? Well, the answer to all those questions and more might be tied into how exactly Coulson is back from the dead this time, and the answer might surprise you because, well, to put it simply, the devil did it. Yes, it would seem that Mephisto is actually responsible for Coulson's resurrection and is now holding that over the agent's head. Coulson vows to work towards a red, white, and blue future, but it's clear that Mephisto really only cares about the red part as the comic comes to a close. And so that was Avengers issue number 18, everybody, and I gotta say this was a rather interesting idea for a tie-in. It uses the events of War of Realms as a jumping off point to actually shed some light on a storyline they've been building up in the background of this series since the very beginning. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say what if Justice League but evil is some sort of fresh, new, groundbreaking idea, because it's really not, but it's the little things that actually sells me on it, like the Squadron themselves perhaps not even really knowing that they're being manipulated and that the government is basically acting like a writer's room, writing these people via committee. This is also probably as close as we're going to be for a long time to actually seeing Jason Aaron potentially write the Justice League. I definitely want to see more of these characters moving forward, especially because they represent the opposite of what the Avengers are going for right now in being a more worldly organization, while the Squadron is so nationalistic they almost rub up against jingoism. You put Coulson at the helm of that, and then you add the whole extra dimension of Mephisto screwing with the superhero community, and I think you got the makings of a pretty cool clash coming down. Overall, I'd give this an 8 out of 10. Really cool.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel, and I want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out some of this other comic content I have available for you. Then you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Cape Joel, so you're always up to speed on what I'm doing next. And hey, if you're in the market for some comic books for yourself, might I recommend buying your trades through my book depository link down in the description. Not only will you save a bundle by not having to pay anything for shipping or handling, but everything you buy via my link goes to support me and the channel. So you win, I win, everybody wins, right? And until next time, I will be back again with more comic content that smacks of greatness. Bye-bye, everybody.